Gonna go over a nice field report. This one's pretty simple. It's a guy who wants to get started, and a lot of guys, when they first discover the red pill, or in this case, the married red pill, and this one was from 2015, so that's 7 years ago now. This is like pre-Trump, so, you know? And they're full of piss and vinegar. They like the idea of getting in, becoming an alpha male that my wife always wanted me to be. And you're gonna start to see, if you've done this for any length of time, you're gonna start to notice a pattern. Is that the guys that demand the most from everybody else are the ones that are least worthy of it. And it's why so many guys you've seen that become red pilled, fix their marriages, fix their sex lives, tend to be very acrimonious to guys who proclaim to be on the same team. But as always, you're going to see the field report. Then you're going to see me going over the Jack 10 of Hearts critique on it, and then me adding some final thoughts at the end. So might as well get started. This one from the most prolific poster in the red pill, deleted, the deleted account, needs help getting started. He wants to become the man that she used to have sex with on a regular basis and respect wholeheartedly before they got married. And he starts it off. How many of you accidentally left the lunch meat in the counter? How many of you forgot to turn on the gas fireplace? How many of you accidentally left the front door unlocked when you left the house? How many of you asked to clean the bathroom and put it off? Over the last couple weeks, I've been stressed out of the demands of a new job. It's tough settling into new routine. I managed to pull off, and nothing I ever do is ever good enough then. She thinks I may put the stuff back in the fridge and poison her kids. She thinks I'm going to burn the house down by leaving the gas fireplace unattended. Anyways, he has like 500 different examples here, but you get the idea. And then he's like, never mind, over the years, I've caught mistakes and done this. And it's, you know what? This whole report isn't really even worth reading because it's generally a rant. Everything she does is wrong. Why can't she appreciate all the stuff that I used to do that was any good and help me become the man that I used to be? And he ends it off with, our sex life is non-existent, and the D-kind coincides with her shit tests and honey-do lists, which began before we got married, and I failed all of them. So I've read some of the stuff in the sidebar, and I don't know how to apply it to my current situation. I don't know where to begin in order to start repairing this relationship and become the man she wanted to have sex with and appreciate. So Jack comes in and reads through this, and he sees he's commenting with a bunch of the guys essentially. And this is another thing you're going to notice. When these guys come in, hat in hand, I'm full of piss and vinegar. I'm ready to do it. Where do I start? And then guys will point him to like the sidebar, which if you haven't seen it on my YouTube channel is the playlist series. And most of the time when guys give him actual stuff to do, he argues. He'll just argue with everybody, but he'll agree with the people that agree his wife's being a bitch. He's like, yes, that's exactly what I need to hear. And so this is probably the 500th time that guys like Jack have seen this. And so Jack starts off, dude, seriously, go fuck yourself. You let yourself get castrated in your marriage for years, and you can't even put in the 4 hours max it would take to go through the sidebar. You already know the answer too. She doesn't respect you. She thinks you're incompetent. All these little chores and shit tests are just shit tests. And if you mess up one time out of 100, she's going to use that one isolated incident to point out how you're a complete waste of time and irresponsible. He's like, there's your answer. Your wife is not adding value to the wife the way that you want. You think you add value to hers, but her constant criticism makes you feel unappreciated and unhappy. So the answer is, go fucking change that. It'll probably result in some disruption in your marriage, which is tough with a pregnant wife. Second thing, cutting it off right there, second thing to notice, guys love to bury the lead. Most guys, they start talking about a dead bedroom, a frigid wife, a neurotic, bunch of stuff, and they'll always forget to mention something like she's pregnant until 5 comments in and 10 hours later. I'm here to tell you that's a very important detail. Girls become a neurotic mess when pregnant. They're all over the map. And so details like that matter more than you think. And most guys don't even think to mention it. It's frustrating as hell. Where'd I leave off? Okay, this is fine. So you write some complicated shit here, and it seems like a total paradox, if not outright contradictory. In fact, I have a draft of the paradoxes of the red pill. And as an example he uses is like, we say no to covert contracts, But acta non verba is literally covert communication, where I try to deconstruct it for noobs like you, 10,000 words later, except there's posts like this that make me feel like there's no fucking point. No fucking point. Maybe you'll read it, but like some other loser in his life and his marriage, and let's be clear, I know I need to live for me, but somebody needs to tell me how to do that. Based on your lack of friends, your inability to handle work-life balance, and yes, even your participation in CrossFit, you're a fucking loser. We'll gloss over all of it and stumble in here and go, derp, can somebody explain to me in less than 140 characters what's the best way to stop being a whipped beta bitch pussy? Does that upset you? Are you thinking, dude, who is this asshole on the internet who thinks he can judge me? Maybe you've even clicked the reply button, full of salt and vinegar, ready to explain just why I'm so wrong. Good. I'm some random schmuck on the internet. But you've already gotten way more indignant with me than with your own fucking wife, who's literally trampled all over your balls for the entirety of your marriage because you let her, and you can't even invest enough of yourself to read some web pages. What are you doing instead? Arguing? You've already established you don't have any friends, and you took a job that leaves you with more free time, so what the fuck do you do all day? You're not spending it fucking your wife. And have you really concluded that despite all of that, you don't have enough time to read the material and you need a handout? There's no quick fix. Anything you do is going to require a lot of introspection, dramatically modifying your approach to life. You know? Anyways, and I'm sure you were dreading since your wife is pregnant and her hamster is on a hair trigger, but you need to own that shit, man, and you need to figure out what you need to do to fix it. And maybe post here if you want an idea, you've had a direction, maybe you need somebody to ping some ideas off of and maybe some guidance, or maybe you think you had the right idea but you're getting the wrong results. And until then, nobody is going to be able to help you in any meaningful way. They can get you pointed in the right direction, but you're going to fuck up and royally lose frame in your wife's invariable meltdown of a reaction anyway. Likely because you'll confront her way too soon about way too much shit when you're way too angry and you don't have the frame or the foundation and the skills to deal with it. By the way, my tone sounds pissed, and I am pissed, but not at you. I'm pissed because the Giants lost and I had a few beers and I'm shitting on some guy on Reddit. It seems like a good way to blow off some steam. Worked for me, so maybe you'll get something out of it too. So, my thoughts on this. I absolutely understand this level of frustration. Anybody who's been red pilled for any length of time, you notice like a pretty predictable pattern of behavior. I call it the ultimate take a penny, leave a penny jar. Most guys come and they're all tough, right? Everything is the woman's fault. Nothing's my fault. I'm awesome. She doesn't respect me. And then generally speaking, a bunch of guys who have been through that meat grinder, they get pretty pissed at you. They chuck some shit at you and you'll find one of two people. Some guys have the self-awareness to realize, okay, they're right. I haven't had sex with my wife in a year, and I'm basically coming here hat in hand. Maybe something these guys are saying has a point. And then the other type of guy just gets angry. How dare you talk to me that way? Do you not know how special I am? And then what you'll find is those guys are value leeches. They'll ask you for everything. They'll ask you basically to live life for them. And then when something goes wrong, they blame you. And most guys are just tired. Like, look, let's just skip the rigmarole and skip the dance and skip all the 17 days of posts you're going to do, screwing everything up. And let's just skip to the part where you don't like me and I tell you to piss off. It's generally speaking how it is. I mean, and we're not really angry about it. Nobody's really like everybody. It's like when you say LOL online, nobody's actually laughing and it's not online. It's just LOL. It's just something you say. So just remember, like, don't take this stuff personally, but understand, and you'll notice this because as you get through your results, you're going to start to want to teach. You're going to proselytize. Dude, this helped me so much. You need to be red pilled too. And you tell it to everybody who didn't ask, didn't want to know, and isn't listening. Shut up. They don't care. Next thing you're going to find is you're in a state where you see other guys failing and it's going to reflect your former failures. You get very angry at them because they remind you of when you were at your worst. Ignore that too. You're projecting, let it go. It's a residual anger thing. It goes away over time. And then finally, you'll get to a place where you want to internalize concept better. You want to teach, because it turns out when you read something, you'll retain maybe 15% of it. When you write something, maybe another 15% of it. When you listen to something, you retain maybe 10% of it. But when you teach, you retain 90% of it. So the whole goal here is, after in that teaching moment, it's this nice relationship where the guy who's brand new and doesn't know what he's doing, he gets guidance, doesn't deserve it, hasn't put in any work. And then you, as the guy giving advice, is actually using him to solidify the comments in your own mind. That's really the only way the mentoring aspect of this works, because they're not very useful and most guys are a waste of time. And then once you understand that you're not giving a guy advice for him, you're giving a guy advice for yourself. It at least lets you walk in with reasonable expectations. If he doesn't follow your advice, you still learned. Everybody gets what they want. And I know this one's a little meta, but I think I've been doing this for long enough. It's been, 3 years now? So there's already a group of guys who have started and continued and ended their red pill journey, and they've gotten their good sex lives, they've gotten their good marriages out, and they're at the point now where they want to start proselytizing. And I'm here to tell you, skip the proselytizing, skip the yelling at newbies, other than, for clout on Twitter, and then just get to the point where you realize, by teaching this, I'm going to remember it better. And you'll end up having a better life for it. At the very least, you won't be as mad when the Giants lose the game. So enjoy yourselves. I'll catch you guys on the next episode.